this week's show, we try out a bit of collaborative skydiving, fiddle with some Sega flaps, check out a completely new Super Nintendo Mario game, and do our bit to keep children safe from predators.
Oh, hello. Hello, it's me. It's Jace. It's Jace at Retrogames. Mixing it up for you. Hello, how are you? Happy Friday. It is Retrogames Day. We are getting through the year. It's going to be Christmas any minute, isn't it? We're getting there. We're getting this feeling more festive by the hour. And now, bit of news, bit of show news. We are going to bring a big Christmas show again. It will be our third Christmas special, hoping very close to Christmas Eve. Wouldn't it be nice to put a really great long show, not 15 minutes, a proper long show for Christmas, a few treats and surprises. There might be a few people that we haven't seen on the show for a long time.
Oh no, he's going to play with his teddies again.
But that's coming up for Christmas. To make your Christmas special, Jace is putting out the Christmas special. You don't get better than that, do you? Anyway, shall we get on with the show? Do we need a reminder of how it works?
Well, it's quite simple, really. Every week we get loads of new games, so Jace holds them up to the camera and tells you how much they're worth. What else do you want?
It's hardware time, and what is this? It's a Sega Genesis 3. We do not get many Genesis consoles in the UK because they're incompatible with Mega Drive, so there wasn't much demand for them. But this is the tiny, mini, weeny, later version. Is it 95? Yeah, 95. It's going up against the PlayStation, this is. In 1995, oh, Sega, what are you going to do? We'll release another version of the Mega Drive. Oh, that'll go well, yeah, against Ridge Racer, yeah. Let's stop it, Jason. It's an internal monologue. Let's just check it out. There's the box. Beautiful. It's got, this is funny on the back, because this is the core pack. It didn't come with any games. But on the back, it's got a picture of loads of games. And you're thinking, oh, great, classic titles. No, classic titles for your Sega Genesis. And then check this, core system, game cartridge not included. It just seems like a con. You think, oh yeah, I'm going to get all these games. I'm going to get Sonic. I'm going to get Aladdin. I'm going to get Turtles. No, you get nothing. You get nothing. But let's open it up anyway, because it's such a strange little machine. The third Genesis. We didn't get a Mega Drive 3. They thought, no, the Brits ain't going to buy a Mega Drive against the PlayStation. You're right, we wouldn't have. But that would have made it really rare. And there we have it in the box. We've got the manual. It's got all the plastics. It's in lovely condition. American power supply. That is the controller. And let's get this baby out. Pull it out of its plastic. It's tiny. It is tiny, isn't it?
Oh, don't worry. It'll get bigger if you think about me.
It's a little cutie. Hello. All right. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I like being in the box. All right, you're going back in the box in a minute.
Oh my goodness. That must be enough to get you sectioned.
Two plug sockets on the side, so that's the AV out, which is the same as a Mega Drive 2, that horrible multi-pin thing. And that's it, just very simple, an on and off switch, but no lights, no LEDs, we're saving money. What a strange decision to release this. I don't think it did very well, which is why it's so rare. That is the Genesis Mark III.
What's on the table?
Now here is a rare spooky game. This is called Ghost Town. And it's by Aerodive for the Commodore C16. And look at that image. That is weird. That is a boy. It's a boy climbing into a coffin. For some reason, with a man chasing after him with a knife. There is something sinister, like Stranger Danger. Do you remember those Stranger Danger adverts?
I'm very fond of children, you know.
Not everyone is what they seem.
One likes one's privacy.
Don't worry.
No thanks.
Come on, jump in.
No thanks, just get along.
Would you like to get in my car?
Remember, kids, always say no to strangers.
It's like paedophile on patrol. I don't know, it's weird, but why is the kid getting in a coffin?
Because it's the entrance to an underground labyrinth, that's why. Yes, when it said graphic adventure on the front of the case, I really wasn't expecting the game to look like this. Roam around a maze of screens, looking for objects to open other screens. It's very typical of the era. And despite that creepy cover, there doesn't seem to be a lot of jeopardy. Just look how good it is at swimming. Wow, straight across there. And why do spiders in these games always go up and down the webs like that? Have you ever seen a spider just going up and down, up and down? No, never. You've probably already worked this out, but this is one of those games where the cover is so much more exciting than the game itself.
And there we have the old analog cassette. Super rare game for the Commodore C16 or +4.
Would you like to ride my chopper bike?
Now let's get on to a PlayStation game. Now this is a different game I just didn't know before. This is out in Japan, Japanese game. It's called Aerodive, and it's a skydiving game. And the only thing, when I think skydiving on a video game, I just think of Pilot Wings. So I thought, well, we've got to check out Aerodive for the PS1.
Well, I wasn't really expecting this. Unlike Pilot Wings, where you just negotiate a few hoops and then try and have a perfect landing, this is far more elaborate. Using combinations of button presses and joypad direction changes, you must synchronise moves with the other skydivers. It's a bit like performing tricks in a Tony Hawk skateboarding game. Pull off a brilliant move and you feel like a champion. Screw up the controls and you let the rest of your team down. Now, more surprising is this is not a one-player game. You play against a friend. A couch co-op display skyriding face-off, if you will. The style of it and the timing reminds me of that dancing game Buster Groove or Buster Move. But it also reminds me of Wave Race. I think it's the music and the style and the speech. Brilliant.
And there it is, beautiful condition. Let's open it up there. Yeah, you've got some clouds. That is clouds printed on the inside of the inlay. Beautiful condition there. Quick look at the back of the box. Yeah, very nice game. Lovely.
What's on the table?
Now, here is an interesting PlayStation 2 game. This is called Fish, Legend of the Seven Waters. It's a Japanese game. Now, initially, I'll just show you, I thought this was a fishing game. It just looked like it. I thought, oh yeah, you can catch all these fish. But no, this isn't a game where you catch and injure fish. It's a game where you are a fish. Check it out.
Now, you may know this game as Finny the Fish. That's how it was released in Europe and the USA. Now, the reason I picked this is not because it looks like an underwater Zelda game, but because it's by Sega. Repurposing the graphics from those Sega Bass fishing games and turning them into an arcade adventure. If you're hoping that this is some kind of underwater Banjo-Kazooie, then I'm afraid I'm going to have to let you down. The puzzles are simple and the game's mainly about eating things. However, there is one burning question that this game finally answers. What's it like when a frog has an orgasm?
Oh, he's thinking about me.
Now, here is something you may have seen before, you may never have seen it before. I had never had one of these before. Something a bit wacky. This is called the Gameboy Macro. And you're thinking, what? Nintendo made a Game Boy I've never heard of? No, they didn't. This is an unusual homebrew hardware project, but it's a common machine. You get these. This, I'm going to show you on the big camera. Let's stop ranting, Jace. Here it is, the Game Boy Macro. And you're thinking, well, that looks odd. That's got a big screen for a Game Boy. Yeah, and it's got a metal faceplate. There's a metal faceplate. You've got your D-pad and your bottom. But what's wrong with it? Well, it's actually the bottom half of a DS Lite. You can see there's something gummy blocking up the stylus port. But yeah, what an unusual thing. It's half of a DS. Now, this is a project you can find out how to make these. You can turn your humble DS Lite. Well, it's basically cutting it in half. It feels like a magic trick. We're cutting a Game Boy in half and turning it into a Game Boy. But the screens in the DS Lite are pretty good. Now I'm going to show you it working. So if I just turn this on without gaming, they've got a power light at the top corner. We've got the normal DS sound. And there we go. It looks like it's saying put in the settings for your DS. But you're thinking, but it's not a DS, what can I do with it? Well, let's turn it off and let's try it again with the Game Boy game in. Here we are then. The Game Boy cartridge sticks out pretty awkwardly at the bottom, but there you go, it starts straight away. No need to select anything. And here I am playing a pretty mean game of Contra. It works, it works. What an unusual homebrew device. Yeah, make of it what you will.
Would you like to share my toffos?
Now, how about this? Something for the Colecovision. This is Motocross Racer by Xonox. Now, Xonox are quite famous on the Atari format for having those double-ender cartridges. We have to look at one of those soon. There is the game Motocross, man. Unusual title for Colecovision. There was lots of strange things released in the USA that we never got, and this is one of them. Let's check out Motocross Racer for the Colecovision. Oh yes, what a theme tune, the perfect musical accompaniment to a racing game. Sadly, if you were hoping for jumping over buses, it is just a race up the screen game with scorpions as big as cactuses.
It's not funny, Jace. I used to have to wrestle scorpions for a living.
Again with the SNES bootlegs, brutal Mario World. Yes, a whole new Mario World game for the SNES. Why don't we just check it out first? Yes, this is an all-new Mario platform game. It was created in 2005 by legendary Japanese ROM hacker Carol. Yes, Carol. As you can see, it's typical Mario platform action. I've picked up the leaf shield to protect me from all these bullets. The levels are long and creepy and tough. Yes, it is a brutal game. It's also filled with some fantastic end-of-level boss battles. Yeah, that seems pretty brutal. It's a very interesting angle. Super hard version of Mario World. And there we go, beautiful condition. Squeaky box. I mean, they are rare. Nobody knows how many of each of these bootleg games get made. They're not monitored, they're just produced. It doesn't have a manual, this one. It just has got the cartridge in the thing. So, you know, yes, collectible, definitely collectible, because people love Mario and these games are so obscure, and obviously they sold, you know, probably in the hundreds compared to the original Mario World, which sold in the millions. So it's got to be rare. It's just whether you want it or not.
What's on the table?
Hardware, hardware, what is this? Oh my goodness, that is the Pokemon Stadium battle set. And it is in incredible condition. I love the N64. I have said it many times. It is my favourite games console. I'm locking that in. My favourite games console is the N64, and this is the Pokemon battle set. Let's show you the condition that this one is in. Put it on the big screen there. You can see it's a lovely outer box. Now this isn't the more famous Pikachu N64, which actually has Pikachu moulded into the front of it. This is actually the rarer Pokemon battle set, which is like a decaled version of the N64. Let me just pull it out. Now firstly, look at the amount of gump that came free with it. Oh my goodness, so much stuff. So you've got your normal epilepsy warning, you've got a flyer there. What we got? We got the, look at it, there's just tons of paperwork. We've got some fold out poster, we've got the Pokemon thing, we've got the Pokemon Stadium manual, we've got the expansion unit manual, and we've got the N64 manual, so a lot of manuals. We've got the Pokemon Stadium game, of course. We've got the branded Pokemon Yellow. It's a proper different controller with the Pokemon brand. Beautiful, like brand new condition. That's lovely. I mean, that looks like, it looks like a Pokemon, doesn't it really? Does the N64 controller actually look like a Pokemon? A little bit. It's got a bit of Pikachu about it. We've got this, of course. This is the transfer pack, so you can play your Game Boy games on the N64 Pokemon Stadium game. And let's get the console out itself. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This is a proper 10 out of 10, unused, I'd say. I like this better. I like this better than the moulded Pikachu version. I just think it is so pretty. It's a pretty one. It's the yellow flap, the yellow keys, the yellow power switch, the yellow reset, and there is no expansion pack inside. It did not come with an expansion pack. And there's the underneath, all in beautiful yellow. It's just mint. I want to put it back in the packet because it is so new and so gorgeous. And I know what you're thinking. I bet that's expensive, Jace. Perhaps.
What's on the table?
And I think that brings us to the end of another show. It's a cosy show, isn't it? I keep saying this. It's a cosy show. It makes me feel warm and snug when I watch it back. So I'm guessing, yeah, it's just something cosy about. I don't know how it happened. Maybe it's because I'm always stuck in a room. But it feels warm, cosy, just watching this show. And I don't know, if it's helping your well-being, give us a comment, let us know. I love all the comments. I do try and reply to every comment because I have a personal bond with all my fans. A big shout out to the Hardcore 44. I haven't forgotten you. I know you are there, you are dedicated, and I love you all, each and every single one of you. Shall we move on? Yes, okay, until next time. Happy retro gaming, retro gamers!